In today's video, I'm going into what is intuition and listing off a few different ways that we might feel it and have it come up for us. So this week's theme is around intuition, and we're going to go deeper into seeing how to connect with it and become aware of it in yourself. And today specifically, I want to go into what is intuition. And I was thinking about this the other day, and I just started writing, like, what is it to me? What comes up when I think of intuition? And of course, the first thing I think of is my gut feeling, this feeling inside of me of like, oh, this doesn't feel right, or this feels good. But the definition that I was getting, or what I was thinking, is like, I see it as we're all interconnected. So we all have this energy that's going out of us and coming in. And intuition is this awareness and picking up on those signals, those things that are coming at us energetically in different ways. And so we're sending out these, like just awarenesses be all around us. At least this is how I'm visualizing it. And we pick up on these signals around us that are coming then to us. And then it's how do we interpret it? So if you have this signal come to you and you get a churning in your stomach and you're like, oh, this doesn't feel good, then it's how do you interpret it and how do you relate to it? And many of us have been either conditioned to kind of squash it and be like, no, I'm not allowed to actually listen to those responses of my body. Or we have been, taught to actually listen and be like, yes, this is what I want to follow and pursue and listen to. Or maybe we weren't taught at all, and it's just something that you notice and you're like, oh, this actually feels right for me, or it doesn't feel right for me. So it really is not only that we have these signals coming to us and we're picking up on it in our bodies, it's how then do we interpret it. So I wanted to list a few different ways that we have this intuition coming to us, and all of these might be familiar to you, and you can see how or if you listen to them or if you don't listen to them. And our first one is instinct. That reaction or feeling of, are we safe? Do we feel comfortable here? And our body will react if we don't feel comfortable, if we're, feeling in this sense of, this does not feel safe. And there were times when I would walk around New York City and there's no people around. Like, I felt the safest when I had many people around me, but when there was no people at all, that's when I kind of felt like, am I actually safe here? Am I comfortable walking down the street all alone? And those were the times where it's like that instinct would pick up and be like, oh, how are you right now? Be aware of your surroundings. What are there other things going on to be aware of? And in those cases, I was fine, but it was one of those things that I really became aware of when I was alone. That was when I felt the weirdest or, uncomfortable. And then we go into gut feeling, which along the lines of instincts, you get this gut feeling of, this doesn't feel right. But you'll also get it when, say, you're partnering up with someone to do some work, or, you're out and about and you get this gut feeling with someone and you go ahead and do it anyway. Like, you didn't listen to that gut feeling of like, this doesn't feel right. Like, you'll get a feeling inside of you that's like, oh, this doesn't really feel comfortable or right. And then it's like, do you listen to that gut feeling or not? And you can also get it if it does feel right. Like, oh, this really feels right in me, and I do want to follow this, or I do want to go forward with these things. And that I include in with decision making. Like, there are times when I have to make like a really important decision for my life. Am I going to move? Am I going to, take a new job? And I'll get this gut feeling as well of, this one feels really right. So for me, I use this kind of gut feeling as well for decision making. And then I also am putting in synchronicities here with this intuition, because there's been times where I'm like, oh, this to me really feels like I'm picking up on these signals like I would with intuition. And so one of the examples is like, I will ask a question, kind of, universe, hey, can you help me? I'm trying to figure out and make a decision. And can you show me hearts? And suddenly I'll look over, I'm passing by a tree and there's like a heart-shaped knot in the tree. And it's like, how did that just happen? Like the synchronicity and timing of it is kind of crazy sometimes, you know? And it's like, well, that helped me see the decision. But then I go, oh, okay, so this heart is confirming this answer for me, but does that feel right in me? And that's when I tap into really connecting with the intuition of, does that feel right for me? So it's not that I'm just blindly going, yes, this is the answer for me, thank you. It's that I'm really then listening to that intuition and guidance within me. And as well with the synchronicities, it's those moments when you're thinking of someone and then they call on the phone. Or you're walking down the street and you think of someone and they pass by you. You know, there's those kind of timing of things and synchronicities that I feel like is also part of this intuition, because again, we're sending out these signals and these vibrations, and they are too. And then it's like, oh, they come into my thoughts and they're thinking of you at the same time you're thinking of them. Or you feel their vibration in some way. Again, these are my interpretations of how these things are happening, so it's not scientific, but this is how I feel or sense that the intuition is picking up on these signals. And again, it's how we interpret them and if we're aware or noticing them. And then finally, the last of these intuitions, I'll say, is inspired ideas, where suddenly you get this thought. You know, a lot of times it's like when you're in the shower, or like for me, I've been noticing as I'm drifting off to sleep, suddenly I'll have this thought or an idea of, I need to do this, I need to create this. And as I then am creating it, it relates to me in a way where I'm passionate about it, I'm enjoying doing it. So these inspired ideas, it's not going to be something that you don't want to be doing. It's something that actually really connects to you. So I'd be curious to hear if there's other ways that you have connected with intuition. So do put that in the comments below. It would be interesting to see, and I probably would resonate with it as well. Like, oh yeah, that I've done as well, or that I have had happen as well. So do share. And thank you for joining me today. I am AmyC with You Finding You. And if you are enjoying and getting value out of these videos, do hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And thank you again. I'll see you in the next video.